dynamic hair movement. I've already made a few videos about how to draw hair, but this time, we're focusing on how to create dynamic movement in hair. For characters with long hair, you might as well make it dynamic and flowy, right? So, in this video, I'm going to show you how to draw hair with movement in a way that really brings it to life. Ready? Let's get started. The method I'll be using today involves working with multiple layers, building up volume from the bottom to the top while coloring. The key is adding that sense of motion. First, prepare a character with a sketched out skull. Next, decide how the hair will flow, and draw arrows as guides for yourself. In my case, the drawing is underwater, so the hair will have lots of movement. I'm going for a character turning back underwater. Once the flow is set, create a new layer and start drawing the hair from the bottom. Make sure to use light colors at this stage. While drawing the bottom layers, I basically just go with the flow. Pun intended. It can help to make the tips a bit thinner, so the hair feels like it's flowing into the distance. But do not worry too much about perspective just yet. The rule of thumb: lighter colors fall back and darker as you move forward. I recommend using separate layers whenever you change colors. You can decide how many layers to use, but 3 to 5 is usually a good balance. Not too much, not too few. For the first two lighter layers, you don't need to worry about perspective much. Just focus on following the flow. Here's how it looks so far. Now, as you sketch each clump of hair, if something doesn't feel right, that's where digital art comes in handy. Use the transform tool to tweak shapes and adjust movement. At this stage, I don't recommend making too many tiny strands. This is just my style, but keeping it simple at this point works better. Next, the third layer. From here, start paying attention to perspective. If your character has bangs, draw those now. Also, accessories. If your character has any, this is the time to draw them in. They are crucial to the hair's flow. If the accessory has multiple parts, make sure its movement aligned with the hair's flow, like this. Alright, now let's focus more on perspective. For those who find it tricky, instead of drawing full clumps of hair right away, try drawing ribbons to establish the flow in depth. Draw the ribbons closest to the viewer, larger and more detailed. As you do this, think about the ribbon's front and back size for added depth. And make sure to show twists and turns like this, creating perspective as you go. If jumping straight into hair clumps feels intimidating, draw the ribbons first and adjust them later into more human-like shapes. By slightly covering parts of the face with hair, you can emphasize depth and create a more atmospheric effect. It could be an eye, the nose, or like in this case where I'm partially hiding the mouth with hair. And only focus on exaggerated perspective in the final 1 or 2 layers. This is just my personal opinion, but overdoing it can feel a bit much. But of course you can do whatever you like, you know? For hair around the face or just 2 or 3 clumps at the back, that's enough for a nice balance. For me. Of course, if you want more volume, feel free to keep adding layers and building up. For me, I'll stop here and move on to the lineup. Before that, though, I like to sketch a rough idea of the finished piece to check the overall balance. This part isn't necessary, but helps me visualize the composition. The water surface, the bolts and bubbles, etc. Okay. It looks okay, so I move on to the lineup. And light coloring for the lineup, I walk from the top down. This time, I start with the accessories. Adjust the layer opacity and follow your guides as you draw the lineup. One important thing, avoid drawing lines you don't fully understand. Always think, this clump flows this way. Oh, and keep checking the balance by trimming off the base layer now and then. Sometimes what looks fine in the sketch may feel off in the line art, especially with hair that has twists and tones, adjust as needed. And don't forget to add a line weight variation too, of course. Alright, so to summarize, start by drawing the character's skull and sketch arrows to guide hair flow. Build up the hair from the bottom layer with light colors, making each layer dark as you go. Adjust shapes with tools if needed. Use 3 to 5 layers for hair. For the top layers, focus on perspective and draw ribbons to establish flow if needed. For the line art, and walk from top to bottom, considering the light, weight, and overall balance. If your character has accessories, make sure their movement matches the hair's flow. And that's about it. I hope this video gives you some new ideas to try out. I also take requests for video topics, so if there's something you are struggling with, let me know in the comment. I'm still learning too, so let's keep improving together. Thank you so much for watching until the end also today. I hope I'll see you in the next video. Have a great drawing day. Bye bye.